So, how does the remote start, and do I have it, work in the 2024 Tacoma? It is different. I'm going to show you guys, and then we're going to do a little POV drive by request. All right, remote start, a little bit different on the 2024. You have to push the lock button down once the truck is locked 3 times and then hold on the 3rd. So 1, 2, 3. Notice it blinking. And that's remote started. Now, the 4-way blinkers are on. You guys can see there in the front. Actually, they stop. So I guess they only blink for a couple seconds. Now, this is the big difference. Watch me open the door. Notice the Tacoma did not shut off. How about that? And if you look in the gauge cluster there, it said, not ready to drive. Let's shut the door. Not ready to drive, press brake pedal and push engine switch to start. You guys can see it flashing right there, hopefully. So I would have to push the button and then I'm ready to go. No longer does the Toyota Tacoma shut off when you open the door. All right. I've had many requests for a POV type video driving the new Tacoma, so we're going to do that now from the start. So obviously, foot on the brake, push the start button, and the gauge cluster will spring to life, and the radio is probably going to blast. We'll have to turn that down. You guys can take a look at this gorgeous new radio, or not radio, but gauge cluster screen. Gotta say, I love it. It is awesome. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to reverse. Let's back out of here. Make sure there's nothing behind me. It's a rather tight fit under the lift. Got to watch those side mirrors. Last thing I want to do is bust a mirror off doing a video, that's for sure. See if the garage door will shut. There we go. My little system is still working. Now, we gotta see about getting out of here. There's what your view looks like in the rear view camera. And I think we're good. I can still fit, it's rather tight here, but I can still fit out of my driveway. Now, let's go for a ride. Just kind of giving you an idea of what the front looks like, or what the view looks like, I guess, POV style. Now, I am going to go over some frequently asked questions so far on the truck. I've been getting a lot of questions, of course, which is cool. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff in just a second. You do notice I still have the tag on the dash cam up there. I have not tackled that yet, figured out how to use it. I did have the same thing on the Tundra that I had, so I'm a little bit familiar with it, but not fully. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Okay, out here on the open road, you guys can hear what it sounds like, and there is some sound that comes out of the engine in this, so it's not dead silent. I know a lot of people had thought, well, it's going to be really quiet because it's a 4-cylinder, you're not going to get any noise. That's not true. Now, the one thing I haven't done yet is push the auto off button. Not a big fan of auto stop, so I try to remember to do that every time I'm in the truck. You guys can get an idea what it looks like across here. It feels so much bigger inside this truck. It's just amazing to me. But let's get to a few questions people have been asking me on the channel, going from memory here. Number one, is there or are there cubbies in the bed back there? And the answer to that is no. There are no cubbies. Toyota now has done away with all of them, so we don't have any cubbies in the back. However, there is an option, I believe, where you can have a cubby on the driver's side for a compressor. And I'm sure that's probably going to be there for the TRD Pro and probably the Trail Hunter, but not at least on this TRD Sport. Maybe on the off-road, I'm not sure. Next up, do we have lights in the back? Yes, there are bed lights in the back, LEDs. I'm sure that's probably an option, but they did come with my truck. What about remote start? Another one I've been asked about several times. You guys saw that in the beginning. It obviously has remote start. Does every trim line have remote start? I can't answer that. I really don't know for sure, but I can tell you this TRD Sport does, and that means there are other trim levels that will as well. Next up, how is the power and the transmission compared to the 3rd gen? Gotta say, it is awesome. It is hands down better in this 4th generation 2024 Tacoma than what we had in the 3rd gen. It's just the way it is. I don't care whether you like the 4-cylinder turbo or not. This truck is more powerful, probably due to its torque, and more comfortable. The suspension is way more smooth than the 3rd gen for sure. Seat comfort. Another thing we've got to talk about, it comes up often on the channel, much better. I don't have to have any kind of lift or seat jacker or anything like that to get comfortable in the seats. Now, I have to preface that because I have the manual seats. So it's possible it could be different in the electric seats. I remember in the 3rd gen, I did have to put seat jackers in mine because I couldn't adjust the front end enough to get it comfortable for me. So whether or not the electric seats are going to be the same and you still have to do something, I can't say, but definitely not needed in the manual or the manual seat, I should say. Much better. And speaking of the manual transmission, I have seen a couple reports from people who've gotten them. They say that they're much smoother. I don't know. I would have to test that myself. And those are the questions that I've gotten so far, at least in greatest number on the channel. Hopefully that answers some folks out there who are looking to find out. I think the truck is awesome. I've had it for a little while now. I think it's just fantastic. In my opinion, it is leaps and bounds above the 3rd generation. Again, not dogging the 3rd generation. I bought several of the 3rd generation trucks in different trim lines, and it's an awesome truck. It's just that the 4th generation, or the 2024 Tacoma, exceeds everything so far that I had or experienced with the 3rd generation Tacoma. Now, I highly recommend that you go out and take one for a drive. You know, I've gotten a lot of comments on the channel, people dogging the truck. I find that that's usually from people, almost solely from people, who have not driven this truck. And you may notice we're on a very bumpy road. I'm sure you can hear my voice shaking. Now, that doesn't mean that this truck is bad. It is way better than it was in the 3rd gen going over that road. I came this way intentionally to kind of give you guys an idea, those that watch the channel. And by the way, do me a favor, click that subscribe button if you haven't before. I'd really appreciate it. But those that watch the channel have heard me go over that road numerous times, so it's a good gauge, I guess, as to how much better the suspension is in this Tacoma. Anyway, that's the POV drive around. You guys can see what it's like sitting in the driver's seat, looking out of the Toyota Tacoma. One other thing I am going to mention is the hood scoop is not too obtrusive. In the past, it's been too high, I think, and kind of got in your field of vision and blocked your sight a little bit. Not true in this next gen. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've driven the new Tacoma, I'd be very curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.